Check. T-minus 5 minutes. Alright, thanks, Bob. Go ahead and... Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. All right, welcome everybody. How's it going to Geezy Truth News? Thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, looks like we got a caller right now. Let's see what's going on. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? We got a caller here. What's your name?
Yeah, it's Adam Tattersall, Mr. Correspondent over here.
Oh, Mr. Correspondent, Mr. Tattersall. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
What's been going on? It's been a while since we've talked.
Yeah, it's starting off the show, right?
That's right. We haven't even hit the introduction yet. We literally just started.
Alright, well, I hope all of you are having a good night and all that.
Well, let me do the introduction. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to Geezy Truth News. Today is January 12th, 2018. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I believe this is the second show of 2018, and it's going to be a great year, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about, lots of announcements. It's a lot of things are brewing up, and it's pretty amazing. Now, Mr. Tattersall, how are you doing?
Good. Just, trying to get my quick word in on the show,
All right, sounds good. Well, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of special announcements. Hold on, I'm getting a live feed back from my technical engineers. Looks like they're telling me there may be some technical difficulties on tonight's show. So, all right, thank you very much, and I appreciate everybody for working very hard on this show, and thank you the audio engineers, the technical engineers, the producers, executives. Thank you everybody for making this all happen. So we have some interesting news today. A lot of things, announcement. I'm sure our viewers and our fans are eager to find out what's going on, and maybe some of you have some 2 cents to put in. So please call in and let's see what we're all about. Let's see what's going on, because it's all about the truth. Geezy Truth News, where you can come over and take a look. We got to figure things out. So everybody waking up to the truth is good news. Everybody, it's positivity all around. Great job, everybody. So, Mr. Correspondent Tattersall, do you have any new live feeds for us? You got any interesting information? What do you got for us?
I don't have any live feeds at the moment.
Well, surely you've been looking into something very interesting, or what kind of new specials are coming around?
Well...
Looks like we have other correspondents calling in.
The funny stuff that Charleston's saying.
What? Correspondence. We have new correspondents on the show. What are the correspondents?
I can't see you, but how's it going?
Let us. Where's the correspondence? hold on. We may have some technical issues here. Technical engineers, are they coming in or what? Oh, I believe I see what the. I believe the technical engineers see what's going on over here.
I'm sorry.
Call us, hey, Mr. Tattersall. Call us through the correspondent activity feed. Thank you. Now then, correspondence. Are the correspondents in? Let's see. All right. So we may be having some technical difficulties here. The correspondents are trying to contact us through the activity feed. And let's see what's going on through here. Well, we have lots of new specials and new interesting updates coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of things to talk about. Lots of updates. It's pretty amazing what's going on in the world scene and politically, introvertly, extrovertly. A lot of things going on. We have, through the macrocosms and the microcosms, a lot of different key points and key factors that you could look into and extrapolate what's going on through the series of events that are unfolding here. Let's see. Well, looks like our technical engineers were right on tonight's show. There looks like to be having some kind of issues here. We're going to extrapolate the information. So here we go. The technical engineers and the audio engineers are working very hard over here to make sure that everything's on point. So thank you very much. It looks like things are coming in. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about. I mean, pretty much from a previous show. A lot of things are up and coming. You know, the executive order is a big deal. The December 21st. A lot of things are coming around. So here we go. All right. Correspondence. There's no audio. What happened to the audio engineers? Where's the audio? Am I on mute or are you on mute or what's going on? Let me There's no voice. Call back in. Let the correspondents call back in and let's see if we got the voice all plugged in back in. Because it doesn't seem like there's any volume here. Where's the audio engineers when you need them? And a big announcement, and we've talked about it previously on the show, is that we're moving the show. Please, everybody who's going to update, let's talk about where are we going moving forward. We have to move on from YouTubes and the Googles and all that. It's time to. Looks like we've had a bit of recommendations for Gab, and we're going to be moving the show onto Gab, and that's going to be happening fairly shortly and soon. So that's one of the biggest updates, and I encourage everybody to do that. Move your clientele and move your service and product and your show, whatever you're doing, move over to alternate version of YouTube as such. So that's what's going on. We're moving over to Gab, and or something similar to it. Our executive producers are on the scene working on that right now as we speak. So we're working on moving the show towards Gab because everybody needs to change. So here we go. We have a caller. Hello. Looks like we have a caller on the show.
Hello, is this Sean?
This is Geezy.
Geezy, oh yeah. Geezy, cool. This is Meadow.
How's it going, Meadow? How may I help you? What's going on?
Are we on air?
That's correct.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Well, I called because I've got a couple of ideas. I've just been trying to get these ideas out into the public, and so I thought, heck, calling a radio show be a good way to start.
I totally agree. What's on your mind?
Well, we've got all this stuff coming out. People all these 10,000 indictments and all this talk of really horrible things happening to children by these powerful elites and stuff. And it's going to be a lot of hassle when this stuff starts coming out, and there's going to be all these people going, man, what do we believe, And, well, I think that one way to sort of help things along would be for the general public, especially those of us in the truthers community and, protesters type people, to adopt an attitude, a mode of operation that is an idea I call compassionate restraint.
Interesting. Okay, go on.
Well, okay, thank you. Compassionate restraint for me is like the way that a mother treats a child that's acting up. A good mother. A good mother isn't going to just smack them. No, a good mother's going to be just, hey, no, don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anybody. They'll just try to redirect or try to just restrain them, keep them from harming somebody else or themselves.
Right.
Yeah, a certain thing comes to mind. I don't want to talk on and on, but that movie Gandhi.
Yes, of course, one of the greatest films ever known to mankind.
Yeah, right. But one of the most violent things I ever saw in any piece of film was part of that movie where they were walking up to this gate and it was just allowing themselves to get smashed down by these cops that were saying, nope, this is guarded now. This is government property and you're not allowed. I don't know if you remember that part. I think it was the pathway to some well or something that used to be public property.
Right.
Yeah. And I just was I just don't think that this ideology of absolute pacifism is really the way forward. It just allows us to be, victimized. I think
of course
if there may be a way that we could embrace peacefulness, but also not allow harm to happen. We'd have to organize ourselves pretty well and be really of one mind about it. But I think that, if there was a protest going on and we all knew that we had the numbers, that we could pull it off. If there was violence happening, we should just nip it in the bud, Surround them, stop them, do whatever you got to do to restrain them, duct tape or whatever, and leave somebody there or a couple people there to guard them so that they don't get walked up on and kicked or something too, maintain non-violence,
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, are you specifically talking about the pedocate thing, or the whole political gist of what's going on, or just overall broad, or because I agree with what you're saying.
I guess this idea was sort of spawned within me during the WTO riots here in Seattle in 1999.
Wow.
Because it was just so harsh how people were getting pepper sprayed in the eyes and stuff, And although it drew a lot of attention to the total stark police fascist attitude that we were up against when we were up against the world powers, corporate dominating, thing. It's just that I just don't think we have to continue to allow ourselves to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And, that was so specifically, it might be applicable to a situation where there's protesters, but on a broader scale, attitude-wise, it's definitely applicable to what's going on with all the pedogate and Pizzagate, the stuff that's coming out. And the more we have a vindictive attitude, the more it's just going to make people want to just shrivel up and silence and not be able to share what they can to help us get to the bottom of this. Really,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly right. And it's a classic play in the rule book. It's very simple. They're just doing divide and conquer. That's what all this race baiting is all about. That's what all this the cops against. Look, I understand every single person's opinion about the police. We all feel. Most people are afraid of the police because they know what's going to happen. If you do one wrong move, they'll shoot you or something. That's just one small example. And that all plays into the divide and conquer. It's classic, and they've been doing this for years, hundreds of years, thousands if not. And that's what's going on right now. So the answer is to wake people up and go above and beyond that.
Right, above and beyond. Yeah, we can paint things with a finer brush, not with such a broad stroke brush. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the things I've talked about and what many people know about, you're familiar with the Truth and Reconciliation Project, right?
Is that the Robert David Steele thing?
I'm not sure if it was Robert David Steele who made that, but I've read about this this Truth and Reconciliation Project. It was I believe it was after the Nelson Mandela hearings or something like that, where they said that if we know that there's evils and injustices in the world, and we realize what's going on. But if you put your foot forward and admit to what's been going on, then the Truth and Reconciliation Project helps adhere that. It helps them not get prosecuted for speaking out on the truth. And I think that was one of the greatest things I ever heard in my life. And I don't know what happened to that or what's the updates. Or I think that's what's happening with the indictments, like you mentioned earlier. I think all of that it's all shaping up into one big. I think Mueller is on the side of Donnie Boy, and I think things are working out for the best. Just like with everything else, time takes a toll, or everything takes time. It's all one step at a time.
I keep hearing little tidbits that kind of are leading me in that direction too. Maybe he was somebody who turned. He was persuaded. Yes.
Right.
Came over to the light, so to speak.
Right, so pretty amazing stuff going on, man. The only thing that it's when you're talking about with high ranks like Donnie Boy, when you talk about they're at the top, they obviously there's some information that needs to be secreted or top secret type of things, and everybody plays like a grandmaster chess player there, right? So something that they'll do. Like the net neutrality thing, which we've talked about previously on the show, may not look like a good thing, but it actually may be, 9 steps forward. It might be beneficial. So it's things like that. And
I've been trying to figure out what in the world is behind this, move of Jeff. I'm forgetting the guy's name, who's the chief. Oh man, I'm sorry when I do this, and I'm sure
no problem. Take your time. Who are you talking about? The guy who wrote the book.
The whole country's laws. God, I feel like an idiot. He's clamping down on the marijuana thing.
Oh, you're talking about Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, even where it's been legalized by the state.
Yeah, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions. That is in my opinion, a diversion. It means nothing. It's just a little sideshow to compare to get people distracted from the actual things that are going on. That is one of our last worries. That should not be. I mean, everybody's flipping out about the Jeff Sessions thing, but he's no big deal. He is, they're being smart.
In a way, to me, it sort of makes sense that maybe these guys have to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, in order to keep from getting just like murdered.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right, and I think that's why Donald Trump, when people asked him why Donny Boy has been bringing some of these people up to his office, a lot of these people are questionable, like that Rex Tillerson guy and several other people, very key component people that you would ask, okay, well, these guys are part of the neocons. Why is he bringing them up there? Well, I think, again, with the chess player move, is like, well, you bring your friends closer and your enemies closer. What would you do? I mean, that makes a very sensible and tactful position, to bring your enemies close up to you, so you watch their every following move. So they can't, even if they try to do something, you see it, and you could call it out. And I think that was one of Donny Boy's tactful positions, and I think that was one of his smart key plays. But there's a lot of things going on.
I haven't heard somebody else call Donald Trump Donny Boy. You're talking about Donald Trump when you say that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cute.
Yeah, that's right. Donny Boy, because he's our boy. He's doing good. I think he's vouching.
He's hard in the right place. I think he's definitely being manipulated a bit in some ways.
Right.
It's hard to say,
It's hard to say because these guys are so tactful. I mean, you have to understand that they're all competing with one another, and that they're trying to take over certain positions, and by doing what he's doing, he's being very tactful about it all. I think that's the way it's going. But there's a few things that I'm questionable about, like where he always vouches for the economy. I would think that he realizes what the economy is all about. But when I hear him say that the Dow just reached 24,000, 25,000, it makes me wonder where his knowledge in economy is. But other than that, that could be
telling everybody what the Dow really is. That would be like full disclosure.
Exactly. That's my point exactly. So I think that's why he's given the dog a bone, so to speak. He's given the dog a bone. He wants the neocons and the globalists to hear. They want him to sing like a hummingbird, so that he's gonna sing to certain things. But then, like what happened on December 21st, you're familiar with the executive order that he wrote about on December 21st, right?
Oh boy, that is just like heroic, historic, massive big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And nobody's talking about it. What they're recently talking, I mean, look, it's all fake news all around. I mean, you look around what all my friends and family have been talking about this recent shithole comment. How he said all of these shithole countries. You got to know that it's all fake news, and that there's truth. There's general truth to everything. But obviously, when I found out that this was going on, and then I find out, look, I couldn't find a single text of him saying that quote. There's no text. It's all fake news media outlets saying, oh, he's talking shit about shithole countries and all this and all of that. But behind the scenes, they're not talking about December 21st, the executive order, and all these other great things that's happening. It's one step at a time, and they're trying to take us down. They're trying to take Donny Boy down. But we'll see. Only time will tell. There's a lot of crazy things are going on. So
one thing I'd like to mention to friends of mine who are anti-Trump is like, well, before Trump got into office, wasn't everybody like in the progressive movement like totally against the PTP?
Right.
And he got us out of that, right? So
exactly.
One positive thing, obviously, right?
Many positive things, and so I mean, with all that, it's like I don't understand where it's pretty freaky. I mean, the globalist agenda and who are all these people who are anti-Trump? It's like, if there's so many anti-people who are Donny Boy, how did he get voted into office? I mean, it's very simple mathematics, and people are just, there's a lot of people who are shocked, a lot of people who are confused, but fast forwarding, things are doing good. I mean, there's a lot of information to be talked about, and this year is going to be a great year. Meta. There's gonna be a lot of things.
Pretty high hopes for 2018.
Yeah, 2018. There's a lot. I think the Truth and Reconciliation Project is gonna hit a whammy this year, and there's gonna be a whole lot of new programs similar, and there's gonna be a lot of winning. Remember when Donnie Boy said there's gonna be a lot of winning, and he's gonna be So there's look. I mean, he could be, even if he is the opposing force, he's hell of a lot better than the opposite spectrum, right? So it's
a lot of winning. It reminds me of his new tax plan that got passed. And there's a couple of little points about that tax plan that I think are being overlooked. And one is that he canceled the mandatory, thing where you get taxed, a penalty tax if you don't have insurance,
Which is great.
Which I think is significant, because when I heard about that, I was just like, well, how fascist can you get, It's almost as bad as mandatory vaccinations, You have to buy insurance or you get,
Right, exactly. But you said he got rid of it, right?
Yeah, he got rid of it.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Also, he says that there's going to be higher earned income tax credit for single mothers and people who are struggling.
Yep.
The earned income tax credit thing has really helped my family out a few times.
Nice, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I did the calculations, and anybody who does the calculations and the mathematics on the tax reform plan, I mean, you're definitely getting a significant amount back. And so everybody's a winner in that department, and it's all about figuring things out. And you could talk about all these different kinds of subjects, but I think the number one subject is the pedogate thing, and I truly believe he's working behind the scenes to take care of that stuff. I mean, his executive orders are the number one evidence to bring that forth, and I think he cares. I mean, his first executive order was to get rid of the pedogate stuff, and that December 21st executive order was a huge deal. And so he's working on these things, and nobody's talking about it, and yet they have all these other random, of course they'll have random tidbits about nonsensical stuff they'll talk about, and just people, or just emotions that'll play to the masses. But when you look down to the key components, it's looking good.
It does seem like maybe the swamp is starting to get drained.
Exactly. And you heard about
not Los Angeles, New York Police Department is doing some house cleaning, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And we have a lot more to talk about all that, but I'm sure you're well aware of all that. Exactly. Lots of updates are coming up, man. So things are doing good. I mean, you got to keep that optimism, that positivity, and it's working out. The people are waking up for sure.
I just want to push it one more time. The thought, that having compassion for people and realizing that we really do not know their entire situation, how manipulated they may have been, or that it might even be a total lie, something that they were just caught in a honey trap or something.
Right, exactly.
We've got to have a little bit of compassion for people and not just be on a witch hunt all the time, to just string everybody up who's accused of something bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the main thing is that we all want, and we can agree on, is that we want harm to stop.
Exactly.
To stop.
That's it, and that's the number one thing with the pedogate stuff, and everybody's waking up to all these people are getting convicted and arrested, and all these indictments, and a lot of people thought that Mueller, and I thought Mueller was going to not be a good guy, but it looks like that Mueller is on the side of Donnie Boy and the opposing force of the neocons, or whatever you want to call them. And so we'll see. It all takes time. I mean, right now they're still all sealed shut because they're all taking their sweet time to figure out every nook and cranny, I would assume. So we'll see.
Cool. Well, I kind of feel complete, and the Donnie Boy reminds me of Danny Boy. There's an old Irish tune that's
nice.
Old.
Do you know it off the top of your head?
Change the lyrics on that one and see what you can come up with.
Yeah, can you hum it? How does it go?
Oh no, I just heard the Beatles start the song once when I was one of their songs, between one of their songs.
Oh wow, the Beatles covered it.
Yeah, the Beatles started to sing the beginning of it between a couple other songs once.
Oh wow, that's a nice little
I know it exists.
fact of
I know
nonfiction.
that, I think that my friend Jim would probably have been able to just start it and
Wow.
sing it.
Yeah.
Because he knew a lot of old,
Right.
Irish tunes, yeah. But yeah, that might be worth researching. Yeah, that might be fun.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for the call, Meadow.
Reach people. You can hit them with the humor, and then they start thinking about what you're saying. And it's like, oh.
Truth through comedy. That's exactly right. I mean, I believe that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Meadow. Thanks for the call, and please call back again, and let's keep in touch.
I will.
All right.
I'm gonna get on YouTube and check out the rest of your show right now. While
Sounds good.
See my kid.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Great hearing from you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was nice. A good caller calling in. Looks like we have a correspondent trying to get in contact with us as we speak, so we'll see how that goes. And we have a lot of things going on. Like I said, a lot of fact and fiction, a lot of things going on. So you got to understand how it's all going. So let's see how it goes. We'll be back in these few short commercials.
Let me know when to go.
All right. Well, welcome everybody back to Geezy Truth News. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and it looks like we have correspondents calling in and reaching out to us. So we're gonna get to correspondent Mr. Mac. Thank you.
How you doing tonight, Sean?
Fantastic. This is Jeezy. How are you doing, correspondent Mr. Mac?
I'm doing fine. What are you guys talking about tonight? What's on the agenda for you?
Well, there's a lot of things to talk about. First, we were talking about just the pedal gate is the main thing that I always like to talk about. I was saying how we're moving the show over from YouTube to something alternative source as to Gab, because the YouTubes and the Googles are evil companies, and they're doing the polytechnical, they're doing the bad globalist agenda thing. So you got to look into alternate sources. Got to get away from the evil eye. And then the main topic, as always, the main topic should always and will always be the pedal gate, the whole pedal gate agenda, which is horrendous, and it's pretty much the biggest deal in the world right now. Everybody should be very aware of this to help this evil and disturbing thing end. So we're all trying very hard on that. And then we have all the rest of the news after that. So we have that. If you would like to chime in on any of those things, more than happy to. Or we could go into the next criteria subjects.
I think that's a really good topic, actually, how the big corporations like Google or even Microsoft or companies like that, they're really playing a big part in manipulating a lot of how we see media these days. They listen to what we talk about over messenger calls. We already know that there's been news stations doing reports on that. Like, if you look in the terms and conditions, Messenger, if you have the Messenger app, you've given up all, video recording and audio recording abilities on your phone. The company can access that whenever they want. And there's nothing you don't know, there's nothing you can do about it. So, they're just controlling everything we see on all of these media centers, and that's, I don't know. What do you think about that, Sean? That's very Jeezy. That's not a...
That's exactly right. Well, the thing is the solution is that, well, the fact of the matter is knowing the truth is already half the battle. The second half of the battle is obviously detachment of those sources. So what you want to do is find an alternative source. So, for example, that's what I've been trying to do, and many other people. Although, unfortunately, I've heard some people having to go back on YouTube, which is horrendous. That is, if that's not defeat, I don't know what is, because YouTube is owned by Google. Google is owned by the NSA. The NSA. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but there's not a whole lot of good things I can say about the NSA. God bless this beautiful country, and God bless this. This is the best country in the world, and I love the United States of America, and I'm as patriotic as it gets, and everybody should be. This is the way it goes. However, we know that they are lying to us. We know that we're being misconceived by all this, because point A example, they have us tell us that, okay, we have in the easiest example of the DNS, the hacking of the election of the Democratic Party, easily you can extrapolate what happened here. Is that what's going on? They're saying that they're claiming that this happened, that this hacking of the election happened, and that Donny Boy, hacked the election by winning. But then the same people, and we're talking about the NSA here, people, and we're talking about many other organizations and groups. There's many different kinds of sections and diversions going along with that. But the main point of the plot is NSA. And the same people who are saying that this is what happened are the same people who are saying they have no idea who those people are advertising you for those Viagra ads, and all those random spam ads are going in your email box, and all this advertising, all this spyware and all this random stuff. and you ask where's all this ads and viruses? They have no idea. They have no idea who these people are doing these spyware and these viruses and these advertisements. Yet they're trying to tell us that they know exactly who is hacking who. And so that right there is an oxymoron, or furthermore, it's a complete contradiction of one another. And so that is case in point, in my opinion, and that's why you need to find alternative sources. People need to. The internet is a new Wild West. It's still been going on it's still new for the past 18 years. People are waking up. People are trying to figure things out. What's going on? The people who are well adapted are looking into this. It's very complicated, but at the same time, very simple. And you can see how the bottom line is the way you could fight is by doing alternative websites. If you have a Facebook, switch over to a different source, a different Facebook, because the Google and Facebook and Microsoft and Apple and all these corporations are sold and bought for, just like unfortunately this country has been sold and paid for the past 180 years by lobbyist groups and corporations and corrupt politicians. And that is what this is all about, is people waking up, the Truth and Reconciliation Project, and everything, everything happens for a reason. So people are waking up and we're learning, just like we had to learn that the monarchy was wrong, and just how we knew how all this stuff was wrong, we have to wake up to this next paradigm.
I think you're definitely right about that. I think the level of ignorance in the citizens in this country it's not their fault, but it's disappointing, with just a simple amount of, we could spread the word, and a lot of people try to spread the word. Groups like Cop Block or what's some of the other ones? There's the Free Thought Project. There's a lot of these groups that are trying to fucking spread the word, but people just aren't paying attention. We get a lot of these, they're super, I don't want to say patriotic, because you can be patriotic but not be wrong. You know what I mean?
Of course.
They just blindly follow the word of the fucking political leaders in the country, and they just enforce it like it's fucking law, and it's like, man, that's not what's right, and we need to put a stop to what's happening that's not right. And a lot of people aren't seeing that. With as much spreading the word as is trying to happen, it's not happening quick enough. Not fair enough at all.
Exactly. So where are we going? Where are we going with this? What is the future? What's the solution? We know the solution already is the alternative sources. It's not like we're being, we are being mandatorily, we expected to use certain things, but it's not written in law. It's not written in stone. You don't have to. You can, and this is what I expect out of people and out of patriots and out of United States citizens, is that we have to oppose the globalist agenda or the neocon agenda or whatever you want to call the cabal, the Khazarian mafia, whatever, all these evil agendas that are going around. You want to look into that, and you have to understand which side you're on. It's very simple. Now with the pedogate stuff, it's very obvious. These people need to be arrested, and it needs to be a newsroom worthy. It needs to be all presented right there in the room. Okay, right there. Convictions. We need to have a new Nuremberg trials type of event with the pedogate, in my opinion.
I agree. We need to start over entirely with the political leaders we have in office right now. Congress, presidency, all of them. Whoever's in, start it over.
It's all a time consuming process, and it's all one step at a time, which is why we've been in this for so deep. I mean, it's been more than 180 years. We've been in this for a long time. And before the United States of America, people know with the Rothschilds and the Britain and with all that, the five families, everybody knows what's been going on. And so that's what's happening. And so the easiest thing you could do is know the truth and then do something about it, like alternative news source. We need to be doing alternative stuff, and we also need to approve we need to get these things rolling. with the Truth and Reconciliation Project, and we're waiting on the indictments of Robert Mueller. That's all concealed right now. But these next couple of weeks is huge news. It's all going down. So it needs to be, it's all one step at a time, but the process has begun.
You know what I think another step we can take is? Hear me out on this. It's a difficult step to try and take, but I know a huge topic these days is how the government is using our tax dollars, right? We work every day of our lives. We pay our taxes, and the government turns around, spends fucking some odd $1 billion on military projects that we realistically don't need. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for the military. I think we need to have a stable military to defend this country. That's a fucking fact. But we're advanced enough. We don't need to put fucking any amount of $1 billion into the military if it means sacrificing even 100,000 or $1 million for the fucking educational system. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I can think of. How are you gonna fucking raise a country of solid, hardworking, intelligent citizens if you are gonna put forth the money to educate them? And a good way to fucking combat that, I think, I don't know, I haven't really thought about this too much, but it's an idea. There's no law that says you have to pay your income tax. If we all fucking just decided to up and quit that shit, where the fuck is this country gonna get their money? They can't fucking make us pay their income. Make us pay our income tax. There's literally no law that says you have to do that. Granted, you're gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops to get around the fucking IRS crawling up your asshole, asking you for your income tax. But legally, you don't have to pay it, and you can get around it if you know how to do it. If we could all figure out how to fucking quit paying our fucking taxes until the government learns how to use it right. We need to make the government as a group, okay? We are the people fucking are the only reason the government exists. So let's control the government. That's what we need to do. If we can fucking control the amount of money that the government is collecting from us, they're kind of going to have to do what we want them to do.
So you're absolutely correct about all of that. And let me address, there's two issues that you pointed out, and let me address both of them accordingly. The first one is obviously the tax-paying dollars. Where are they all going? This is a very great question, and this is a very important thing that we're combating right now. And it's what we're doing is we're getting that money back by stopping to pay for all these random, it's all just unnecessary funding, unnecessary budgets. Business 101 teaches you that if the top 10% of management is over the budget, then that means you are mismanaging the whole entire business. And that is what's happening in this country, and that's what happens to a lot of businesses in a lot of countries, is the overspending, the under-budgeting, and the unnecessary processes of going through all of that. And you have to keep, in order to have a safe and healthy business, and running a country is a business. You know, a lot of people don't understand that, but it's just like it has everything else. It's the money, the economy, look, it's got currency in it. You have to, you got to know some mathematics. You got to know some economy. And so the way it works is that you have to have a maximum of 10% of management, no more than 10% of management of the whole entire company, business, country, etc. And that is what deems a healthy entity. So that's what that addresses, and we're working on that. The Donnie Boy is doing his best. We're all doing his best, and you are absolutely correct. We need to. What happened recently? I talked about this previously on the show. I don't know if you're familiar with the Donnie Boy announcement of moving the embassy of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
I remember that, yeah.
So that was a very tactful and very smart decision, because here's what happened. There's a very, very smart economical, strategic route. What Donnie Boy did is because what happened was that when he did that, the UN, all the countries in the UN, a lot of countries in the UN, and especially Pakistan, all started crying about how that's going to be a big problem. Well, now that that's going to be a big problem, looks like we don't have to give you the billions of dollars in funding that we've been giving you every year. Now, do we? Yeah. So that's when we start redacting and retracting all the money in the funds. We fund everybody around here. We fund everybody. We bring everybody here and we fund everybody here. Yes, we do a lot of bad things, but we also do good things. This is how things work. Anybody who is a business owner or who works for a business, who's a high level management there, or who anybody who knows what's going on, you have to make sacrifices, whether you like it or not. You know, you can't choose A, B, C. You have to cut a little bit of A and, switch over B to, make a little bit of... There's always some kind of nook and cranny, some kind of stuff that you got to do that's unnecessary or maybe beneficial to everybody. But bottom line is that we're overspending. We're given... Our taxpaying dollars are going to a lot of useless managerial government positions, and a lot of money is going to... countries, too much money, billions of dollars are going to random countries when we have our veterans and homeless people in the United States of America. So to answer your question, and what you were addressing is absolutely correct, and that's what's happening. So we're working on that. It's all a step by step. We can't all just miraculously wake up to a utopia the next day, but we have to work on it. The most important thing is that we have to work to understand the knowledge of what's going on in this country and the world. We have to understand what's going on in the world, and the world has been scamming us. It has been scamming us and taking advantage of us, and now is the time to take the money back. So the tactful thing with the UN was that they started complaining about the embassy movement. Well, now we don't have to give all those billions of dollars to the countries, and we get all this funding back, siphoned back into the country, which is the ideal goal. And the second thing I wanted to address was I want to make a clear point, and I've mentioned this before on the show, is that it's not F the government. It's not the government is bad. It's the people inside the government that are bad. And the corruptibility, that's what's happened with the lobbyist groups and the corporations. And it's all just become a push-shove competition where, nudge, nudge, wink, wink type of deal where they just pay everybody off. And you can't mention this with so many famous examples, but including the Solenera, whatever that company was called, with the Obama organization, with the administration. That was a huge deal. So that's what that all is.
Do you mind if I go back to the country as a business topic for a moment?
Of course.
I've got something I want to say.
Please go on.
Everybody's got a social security number in this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
The social security number, that's a fucking account number.
Not illegals, though. Illegals don't have it.
That really is what it is. And that every social security number in this country is basically it's almost a measurement of equity for the workforce in the country. That's what the government uses it as. It's like, look at how many workers we have in this country to generate income. We're taking a tax from every single one of these accounts, and that's where our money comes from. And that's what that's what we use as money, basically. That's how we fucking do shit. It's ridiculous. If everybody decided to withdraw all the money out of their social security accounts, which you can do, and shut it down, what are we gonna do? The government is gonna have nothing at that point. And obviously that's not what we want to do. We want to try and keep the government working long enough to get the people that are in office out of office, so we can put competent people in there.
Exactly. We need to get good, uncorruptible people back into office, which was how it was until about 180 years ago, where they started corrupting the politicians in there. And that's how, corruptibility happens. Corruption is rampant, and it happens everywhere, all over the world, not just America. And unfortunately, that's how things go. So
it's unfortunate, but for some reason corruption...
But we are working on it.
That you're going to have to work really hard to fucking find a good set of people that are not going to let it happen.
We are working on it right now, my friend. This is what's going on. The fact of the matter that we got our first non-politician into American presidency in history is a victory in itself. And this is why do you think the cabal and all these people, all the globalists and the neocons hate Donny Boy so much? Because they all expected Hillary to win. They're all attacking Donny Boy because none of them expected this to happen. This is a huge twist in their plot, in their master plan. And so this is why that's what's going on. That's why people are waking up at a ridiculous, alarming rate, which is fantastic. People are waking up every day. Now tell me if that would have been the case if it was the other way around. I don't believe it would have been. I don't believe so. So that's what it is. So remember, everything happens for a reason, and that the way that we're going through things, people are waking up. It's always slow, gradual. You can't have everything sudden and not very often. It happens once in a very, very rarely will something happen just so rapidly and so fast with momentum where everything just happens like that. Usually it takes a long time with the process. It's like gradual. It's like birth. You got 9 months prior. The pregnancy has to happen. It takes a whole 9 months for the birth to be just right, and it starts setting in and everything happens. It's like that. It's a gradual birth, and it all takes time. It's cyclic, and the trimesters, and we got to that's how it works. We can't just go fast and abruptly, otherwise it wouldn't work.
No, I definitely agree with that. If you try to force an ideal on a group of people, it's going to seem imposing, dictatorship-ish. That's not the way to do it. You want people to actually accept the fact that that's how things are happening. Don't try and force them to fucking accept something that they haven't seen to believe. Show them the truth and let them make the decision on their own and realize that they're living in a world of fucking corruption.
Exactly, and the good guys are winning. People are waking up. People are realizing this corruption. People are realizing what's going on in the world. And so I'm very optimistic and very positive about the world events and what's coming up. This year is going to be a great year. And I can feel it, I can tell it, I can see what's going on. One of the biggest things to back my saying up with what I just said is because 10 years ago, no one knew about the Pedogate scandal. This is the biggest deal in the whole world. This is Pedogate scandal, this whole deal. And people are finally waking up. 10 years ago, nobody knew a single thing about it. Right now, people know. There's people who know. There's people who are waking up. And every day, people are learning about it. And so that's how it goes. It's the truth movement.
Yeah. I think we need to keep it moving is the important part.
Exactly. Keep the balls greased and keep on rolling. And that's what's happening.
Keep my balls greased.
So that's what's going on. Keep the wheels turning, and we're a step above going up to the next level. So every time is a that's what you have to do. You have to realize what's going on. So it's all about solutions. The solutions that's what's going on. The solutions are waking up, being a part of your government, being a part of the new inventions. Study up Nikola Tesla, the Tesla coil. Study up on the aquaponics. Study up on the everything. Everything it's a key component, because that way, just like a gun is a tool, it's another thing. They're trying to take away the guns. People aren't going to deal with that because it's a tool against tyranny. Very similarly with everything else. So, and people are waking up, so that's why it's great. Well, anyway, correspondent Mr. Mack, well, thank you very much for calling in and talking about what you think and how you share your knowledge. So,
I appreciate you having me call in, man. It's been an awesome time.
No problem.
I'll definitely be calling you back next week if you'll have me.
Sounds great, Mr. Mack. All right. Well, you take care, and thank you for the call.
You too. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. All right. Well, that was correspondent Mr. Mack. Thank you very much for that. And callers, the lines should be still open. I believe the audio engineers are telling me the phone lines are still open, so go ahead and give us a call if you have any other questions and any things. But we do have a lot of things to cover, but I don't know if we'll be able to make them on this show. I didn't realize we were going to have so many callers in today. But there's a lot of things. Let me just go through all the information that's been going on. There's a lot of stuff. We're just going to go through this really quickly. First of all, here's a new report. Flu season is shaping up as one of the worst in years, officials say. This is exactly what I expected. This is what most truthers expected. That the flu season, of course, is going to be rampant because the vaccines, again, remember people, the vaccine epidemic that's going on is the people who are taking all these vaccinations are all the people getting sick with the flu. I haven't been sick in years. And I'm sure most people haven't, those that have not taken the flu, but the vaccine, but those who have taken the vaccine, I've heard reports as soon as 24 hours, people getting sick within. And because people know that by now is that there's a live flu virus inside the vaccine that they give you, and they explain to you that the CDC and the FDA, they all explain to you how this is a good thing and that it's supposed to help your immune system and all this stuff. But look at this. I mean, there's article after article. Flu season is shaping up as one of the worst in years, officials say. So, because an official says it, there you go. And look at this. So let me ask you this. So if the vaccines, which they report, they try to report, even though on the CDC page, if you look in the fine print, you can actually see that their vaccines are actually only 30% effective, which I'm sure the number has decreased by now, and I'm sure that that's an overstated comment in itself. But you look at what's going on here, the more vaccines they have, the more sicknesses there is. I wonder why. So there's that. Let me bring up all these sources, because you know how I love posting all the sources. Let me post up all these sources so people can see for themselves. Give me one moment here to get to the source portal. So here we go. Here's all the sources. I'm going to be posting up all these sources right here. So thank you very much. So there's that. So there's the flu. There's one little flu thing. Here's another one. They're saying, look, health officials admit the flu jab does not work. Vaccine in circulation targets wrong strain, as is usually the case. Boom, right here. Natural news, ladies and gentlemen. Here's to all the, here's a, and by the way, I have so many recommendations. Please look into, there's many documentary films that have addressed all of this over and over again. One of the most famous and most popular ones are Vaxxed. There's one also, I believe, called Green Vaccine. Look into that one. And then Vaxxed is a really good one, where there's PhD doctors there explaining how they were lied to. And then there's this one specific one. I forgot his name. I don't remember it off the top of my head. There's several ones. There's many, of course. But there's this one specific who he was working for the CDC and found out that they were lying and helped create the documentary for that. So there's that, and then here's the Natural News article here. So again, with every industrial complex, with the medical industrial complex, that this is the issues addressed to that. This is one of the big things is the vaccinations. Please be, as parents, as people, please be aware. Please be, understanding of all that, and that's how things go. So that's how it goes. And then so changing over to the science news, which is applicable as well to that's the unfortunate thing is that it's not science, but the CDC and all these government officials try to update it as scientific news, and then they post this. It is just it's pretty flabbergasting, to say the least. So you wonder how can you combat this? What can you do? Well, first of all, obviously don't get jabbed. Don't take these vaccines because obviously they're not helping. I mean, just look. They're not helping. And then there's there's very simple answers right in front of your face that they don't tell about. Here's one. Vitamin D is a flu fighter, and people have known about this for a long time, and I'll actually update this as well. I'll be posting all these articles as much as I can over here on the Geezy Truth News Network live feed. This is right here. So there you go. And this has been known for years, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, and many other truthers and people knowing. It's everybody's just collecting knowledge and sharing and studying, and everybody's figuring things out. So that's with that. Now, that's with the medical versions. So, and unfortunately, there's some pages not found, of course, here. That's how things go. You know, like Donnie Boy said, quote, "I'm in a room full of liars," end quote. It's true. That's what happens. When you're on top of when they're over there, he's trying to do his best. But how can you deal with things when everybody's a liar? That's why you have to be a master chess player to understand what's going on. So, that with the end of that medical industrial complex thing, I mean, hopefully that's going to be sooner than later that they're going to end it. They're going to figure that all out. Now, going back to military technology or science, there's new updates there. This is a huge deal right here. They have the quote, "Big Brother spacecraft launches. World's first full-color satellite is capable of capturing high-definition videos of individual people from orbit." Now, you have to understand that, of course, all of this stuff makes sense. I mean, anybody who's in will know that this stuff has been around. But for some people who may not know, here you go. I'm going to just post this information right here. I'm going to update all this websites and all this information right here so that anybody can check it out. And, of course, if the website goes down, then you know what's going down. That's what's happening. So, and that's how it goes. You know, with the Facebooks and the Googles, they're all on self-destruction. You know, the technology of within every military technology, public technology, all the private and public technologies, everybody there, you know, the IoT is realizing that it's not going to work out. So people know that it's going to, Microsoft is going to fall. You know, if you're going back to the stock market conversation, you're going to talk about the Facebook is going to fall, Microsoft is going to fall, they're all going to crash, it's all going down because it's not helping. It's not helping. So here's another quote. Facebook shares fall more than 4% after Mark Zuckerberg announces major changes that will see less advertising in users' news feeds. So again, this is all going to play, it's all in the playbook, but this is also great. This goes back to the net neutrality thing. They don't see how this is going to benefit the destruction of globalist corporations like Twitter and Facebook and all these guys. So let me post that up really quick as well. So yeah, lots of information, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of information. So we're doing good over here. We're doing good over here. Well, in terms of politics, you know, the DACA deal, the tax reform thing was great. The DACA deal is good. Look at over here. The same votes with the DACA deal. They go over here. The largest recipient populations, the top 5 was California, Texas, Illinois, New York, and Florida. You can understand why, and that is what's going on. So you can see that that's the DACA residents that are, it's not following the program correctly. These programs are unconstitutional. If you go back to Theodore Roosevelt's enactment, And then you look over here with the DACA recipient populations here with the Fox. This is Fox News research, but I mean you could look at anywhere. All these would show up, and that's what that is. So it's not good, and statistics show that none of that works out. None of that works out, and that every single one of these guys is not. It's not. It's a lottery system. It's unconstitutional. It's not what it's. Again, what about the U.S. citizens? These people. What about our veterans? The number of people, the people that need to be taken care of right now, off the bat. There's homeless people right now. United States citizens of America, homeless people, veterans, and citizens, and you have these people on the streets, outside, and yet we're giving millions and billions of dollars to people who just want to feel like coming over here because they can, whatever the loopholes are. That's all fine and dandy. You can go through the system like every other person, but you have to take care of the people who have served this country and who have helped this country and who are citizens themselves. So that's that. And I believe I posted that link over there. And so, but people are waking up. And the reason why the globalists hate Donny Boy so much is because that he's putting his foot in the door. He's not letting these people do what they're doing. And this is great. And this is why he's doing a great thing. But this is why a lot of people don't like him. Mainly globalists and the top, the elite, whatever you want to call them. All these synonymous names. The cabal, the Khazarian, whatever. All these people, they know what they're doing. They got billions of dollars. What makes you think that they wouldn't want to just relax on a beach and just chill the rest of the day? Why would they want to be over here with billions of dollars? Why would they want to run amok and mess things up over here? That's what you want to ask. And we'll transition over there from here to here's a crazy thing right here that if this will let me. It doesn't look like it's letting me. I'm gonna link this source here. Quote, here are the 256 representatives that just voted to reauthorize and expand unconstitutional NSA spying. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is bringing back up to the NSA days, and they're doing all the stuff right here. So there's that. And here are all the names, all the representatives right here that said yes to this. This is old news. We all know that they're all doing this. But this is legal on paper. You know, we've been knowing this for years that they've been taking over the NSA spying and all this and all that. But here is proof in the pudding. Right here. All their names are listed right there. Here are the 256 representatives that just voted to reauthorize and expand unconstitutional NSA spying. We've already been doing this, but now we have published January 12, 2018. That's today. We have this right here. So read and weep, people who don't believe, and read and weep people who are afraid that this is the case. And unfortunately, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the case. And here are all their names right here. So anybody who's in these states and anybody who has enough free time to send every single email, our team is working very productively and very efficiently here on sending an email to every single one of these representatives. Like Schneider, Schiff, come on, Simpson, you got to be kidding me. I mean, every single one of these representatives is a total schmuck. And they approved of this unconstitutional NSA spying. And it's because that, you know, it's scary times. Who knows who's blackmailed and who's not? They say 70%. They at first said 30% of the government was blackmailed. But now they're saying 70% of the government is being blackmailed one way or another. And you look at this and it's not so surprising. If you look at 256 representatives that voted for that, give me a break. You know? So anyway, I believe that we've run way over time on this show. You know, apologize for the executive producers about that, but we just have to get this information out. So thank you very much. Looks like we're going to have to end this show, unfortunately. I'd like to, you know, add some more tidbits around here, but it looks like just about the show's about overtime ended, and, you know, I'm glad everybody thanks you for tuning in and keeping vigilant. Please share, contrast, talk about, call in, tune in next week. Thank you, everybody, for calling in. And so we appreciate everybody on the show, the people who are working on the show, the people, the fans, everybody, the producers, the executives. Thank you, everybody, for taking their hard time in consideration, and their engineering skills, and everybody who's donating their time for the show. Thank you, everybody. Geezy Truth News is out.